For whatever reason, I've always been drawn to fiction that toys with the idea of scale. More specifically, how people could theoretically interact with the world if they were the size of bugs. And you know what? I liked Ant-Man, and I will stand by that. This fascination has gotten the better of me and forced me to finally get my hands on Supraland, a game that puts you in the, shoes? No. Well, I mean, you eventually get shoes, but, so maybe silicon? I mean, I don't know what the main character is made of exactly, some kind of plasticky material. You know what? It puts you in the shoes of a small little red dude who is tasked with unraveling the nefarious plot of the Blue King. Side note before we get any further, at the time of writing this, I've only made it about a third of the way through the game, so you don't have to worry about too many spoilers from this video, and as you can probably tell by the title, this really doesn't have anything to do with the story at all. So even though this is probably going to be a really short video, I really wanted to make a video talking about what I've noticed this game does really well. Supraland is an ingenious take on the open world adventure game, but I think the developers took the term sandbox game a little too literally. No? No one? Come on, I thought it was funny. The game combines many elements of popular games into one incredibly polished and well-developed action-adventure game. We have the classic physics puzzles, the polished and mechanically hilarious combat, and platforming, all while collecting coins that are lawsuit close to the Mario titles. Like any good adventure, your story starts with you waking up with the entire village surrounding your house. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, nope, back to bed. You are then, not 30 seconds after you got out of bed, mind you, conscripted to go see why the town's water isn't working by jumping down a pipe that has no visible bottom. Once in the sewer, you're given a sword by a knight who has the worst fashion sense I have ever seen and forced to fight through a few enemies. It was here that I realized that the game has no cooldown time for your attacks, so if you can click fast enough, you can literally obliterate your enemies in seconds. And while this makes combat incredibly easy, it also makes it hilarious, so not really complaining here. Anyways, you make your way through the sewer, finding evidence of... I don't even know what to call it. Is this how they reproduce? And how does it work? Actually, you know what? I take that question back. I really don't want to know. Anyways, you eventually find that it's the blue people who have turned off your water, and upon making it back to the surface, the king tasks you with finding out why, which means you have to set off to find the blue castle. Now we get to what I really want to talk about. You see, this game has had an effect on me that I rarely find these days. Put simply, this game does a brilliant job of making me, and I assume many others, feel like I'm on a real adventure, driving me to push through the frustrating puzzle that I've encountered, because there's a lot of those, because I just have to see what's on the other side. Actually, I'm Googling. So let me explain. As I've been playing this game, it has had a very obvious theme of childhood. I mean, obviously, you're in a goddamn sandbox with Legos. But with this, I think, comes this feeling of childlike wonder that is imbued into the player, as every new area is different and often so awe-inspiring, with some areas being less interesting and more mundane, and others being so incredibly cool and fascinating that you feel like you just have to explore every nook and cranny or climb to the very top. I think the last time I did this, I was stuck for much longer on this part. The game adds to this by not only showing you sneak peeks of what's to come over the mountains or walls in the area that you're in, but also by showing you a full overview of the game world in the intro. And it just strikes curiosity into my bones, like, whose bones are those? Why is there a chair balanced so precariously on that rock? Is that God? And to answer that last question, some of the NPCs would argue that yes, that is God. Another thing that this game does so well, and which adds to the enjoyment of exploring, is that it makes fast travel fun. And don't worry, this isn't going to turn into another fast travel bad video essay, even though I really do like those. No, it makes it fun by centering fast travel around these launch pads that need to be unlocked by the player. This can be done in several ways, such as solving puzzles or helping an NPC, and what I love about this is that it's not just a simple press of a button and a loading screen. No, you actually have to explore more of the map and do the side quests if you want to have a faster and easier time traversing the map. And speaking of the map, you don't actually get a physical map until you've completed a certain amount of the game. And you can just miss it too if you're not looking for it by exploring. And when you do get it, it only has drawn the parts of the map that you've traveled, and while this isn't anything new to gaming, it just adds icing to the cake that is incentivized exploring. The final thing that I really wanted to point out was the number of Easter eggs that Supra games have snuck into their game. And I have no clue how they snuck some of these by their legal team, as I'm not too sure they have the rights to him guy. And these Easter eggs aren't exactly the thing that makes me want to explore the map, but it does make adventuring and finding them, as well as the other hidden areas, just that much more rewarding when I do. Thanks for watching. I guess this wasn't as short a video as I thought it would be, but what can I do? But what can I do? Go back and edit that line a whole 2 pages ago? Hell no. First draft, only draft. But with that, I hope life is going well for you, and I really hope you enjoyed.